Hello everyone. So this presentation will inform about the Marie Curie Fellowship. What are the tips? What are the tricks for that is the individual fellowship, and so what are the things important in this fellowship? Because I have a better experience. From the coming side, I just comes just for my journey, but ultimately okay, you have to just get brief information. So here the evaluators are just highly proposed chosen based on the abstract, and they will have a very fairly large number of proposals in a very short period of time. So there's a very important that you have to be precise, and shorter is better. I just recommend such type of things is important. And so composition means if you have some research proposal, so better to make a balance with the industry and research institution, and balance between different membership countries, and address your proposal in fairly broad audience. I'm just experienced because I also have just go through and I'm not selected. But okay, definitely with this information, with this knowledge, I just get some other good fellowship, research fellowship, some renowned fellowship. But I am not selected in American fellowship. That's a very bitter experience. But ultimately, I have some experience, so I would like to share the things which are important from the American fellowship. You should have a very catchy acronym, because in here, if you just write a proposal and if you're title, so they also need some acronyms, and the acronym should be some catchy, such type of things. Sarah and such type of things. You should be like a catchy, some get some catchy acronym. And okay, the philosophy of the American fellowship, that is 3 years: the intra-European and international outgoing fellowship and international incoming fellowship. So if the person want to do work uh, from outside, and come to Europe, so that is a IIF. If a person of the Europe go to outside, then IOF. And if person in the Europe do work itself in Europe, so that is a IEF. So IEF is a intra-European fellowship. Okay, these are things, but we are not just going through, so I have not with too much experience. And that is a international outgoing, so European to come outside. But okay, I am Indian, so ultimately I had applied this fellowship from international incoming fellowship. And definitely this is I'm not saying is which one is right or which one is difficult or which one is easy, but definitely for me this is a very difficult one. So what are the things are important for very good fellowship? They have some 5 criteria: scientific and technological quality, training, research, implementation, and impact. And they are really very precise and very informative. They need very sufficient information in a very precise manner, and a weighting percentage, and they have some threshold. I have shown my result also. So over there you get a brief information, but don't consider that as an implementation and impact is not important. They are also as important as scientific and technological quality and researcher and training experience. So all 5 parameters are important. So usually they just give scores like suppose IEF and IOF and IIF. Okay, different type of, but usually in IEF you just say that the score are comparatively less, but in the case of IIF they comparatively very high, say 90% or 85 amongst, you get a better higher rank, higher number. So IIF means international incoming fellowship are comparatively difficult in comparison to others fellowship. That's also thing, yeah, the same thing. Most attention pays to scientific and research, but definitely some other portion important, because you have to cumulative effect, you have to get all information, and ultimately your score will increase. So that is a call proposal of the publication of the call, deadline, evaluation, such type of things, and that is a RIA services. And ultimately they have to just provide 2 survey. One is the RIA service, they would they just give information is what is your recording, and okay, and you get information that okay, your proposal in the third phase or second phase, okay, your proposal is now evaluated. So first, at least it's important. And after that, how much value you will get, and ultimately you will get in selection on that basis. So this SMT quality training and research and implementation impact. So they are different things, and you have to consider on many things. But I personally, what can you do for project now? So it suppose I personally prefer that you have to take around 6 months or 8 months to prepare this proposal, because it's very highly precise and take time, and add some new technologies like preliminary result. And preliminary results are important because they are very precise, and what is the timelines and what is the relevance of the project. They are just very highly peculiar about what is the host research expertise. Yeah, particularly in this context, I would say that suppose these are the three things. I would suppose you yourself and a person's Marie Curie or funding agency and a place where you have to work. So these three like a triangle. And I personally experience that you have some experience, and the Marie Curie understand that Marie Curie means funding agency understand that you are have such experience that you can do this work at that place where you are looking for, and you have to that place. But at least 70% 80% your experience, you can get all the information, all these things, but the 30% work is not possible at your home country. So that's why you are just going to at that place, and that 30% will be executed only that place. You have to write in that fashion, and you have to just like a triangle. Then the Marie Curie of funding agency will provide fund to you, because okay, you have this experience, you have this expertise. Okay, Marie Curie understand that okay, you have this potential, that okay, you can do this work at that place, because you have did not sufficient infrastructure or liability such type of things and in your home country. So okay, you Marie Curie will provide this fellowship to that place, and the post supervisor have high command on that work which you are looking for. So such type of things are important, and definitely you have a high impact factor and a highly cited publication and collaboration with the top researcher in the field. So such type all things important, because I think this is the world best fellowship. And track record, what you have done, what happened your previous PhD and postdoc, and you have some job or such. So you have to make some table data and current position, all these things. What is a track record, such type of thing, quality of your research and group supervisor, such type of things you have to just input in. And host expertise and training expert researcher in the field, and certainly to provide mentoring and tuitioning. Overall the things the same things. I personally recommend that there's a triangle. One triangle, one person is the Marie Curie funding agency, one person is a host institute, and one person is yourself. And the Marie Curie will give money to you to do work over there. So the funding agency have to assure that you are in that position that have to do this work at that place. And the supervisor in that position that teach you or guide you, so you are able to do that work at that place. That's the thing. And other things, some redundancy problem that do not leave anything blank, but it is important that you have to just talk with your reviewer where you have some problem, and it take around 6 months 8 months, you take too much time, because I think that is a very, when it opened, very time consuming, very limited time, and you definitely did not have sufficient time to write this proposal. It's very lengthy, very complicated, all these things. But yeah, definitely your supervisor will help, because without their help it's not possible to apply. But definitely you have to take around 6 7 months. And some kind of competitive skills, some language training and such type of things, because suppose if you have to do some go to the Germany, so you have to write some implementation or the impact, and are the impact, what you have to learn from that country, what you will do to come to your home country, such type of things you have to write in like a some manner. These are things important. What is the implementation, what you will do to come to home country, when you have to get this about what you will do to come to home country. Suppose if you have to do knowledge from the France, what you will come to go and get information to home country, such type of things is important. And if possible, provide two letter of recommendation the from your supervisor or PhD supervisor. So such type of thing is important. Okay, so this is the result which I have got in my case, and I try my best to get some more information. But okay, up to now I have this information. This is scoring 0 1 2 3 4 5. So 5 is excellent and 0 is a fail, but 1 is a poor. So the scientific and technological quality, the Marie Curie will get information about is the strengths and what is the weakness of the proposal. If for three stars, so I get 4.10. But even it's not good. It's good. We can say this is good, but almost have to earn 4.8, 4.5, 4.9. Sometimes things important. And that the transfer of knowledge 3.80 is not sufficient. You have to add some more, and it would be around 4, 4.5. Researcher, I was applied the fellowship when I was my PhD, so I have a lot of problems. I am not so much competitive in that position, but definitely I try and I get a threshold mark. But yeah, definitely there are some weakness because the match between the fellow profile and projects is not conventionally argue and is not very good. Such type of things. So definitely they have some problems, and their implementation. So I just try to write some implementation, and I'm happy to get a 4.30. So it's a good one, and impact is also 3.90. Particularly, I am saying that is, but ultimately I 80.40. Okay, so that is not so good. But okay, my proposal is in the C grade and having passed all threshold, but for which the funding is not available due to the budgetary constraint. And in this context, my proposal is rejected, and only 16% of unit proposal can be funded. So I'm in the C phase, but there is definitely is a reserve list and a proposal recommended for funding. So I just recommend that you have to add some more impact and try to add the things which is important from the implementation impact, and it would be around 4.8 or 4.9, because less than is not recommended for my end. Because researcher, if you have to apply, definitely some other researcher are much more better, so is over there is less area to compete. And that's the information I have to share from my end. It would be better that if you just like some question, you just text me and I will be happy to respond to you. Thank you very much.